Hi, VIPs. Thank you so much for supporting me and becoming a VIP with close to my heart. I greatly appreciate it. But today I'm here to talk to you about the VIP flower box, which is exclusive just for you. It's $29.95, and I'm going to show you what comes in the box and what I've done to bump them up to show you what you can accomplish with these adorable, simple note cards. Let's just give you a sneak peek of a few to catch your attention. And I know what you're thinking, right? Well, you're a scrapbooker. What do you need cards for? Look, we send birthday, thank you cards, thinking of you, and lately I've needed a lot of sympathy cards. Maybe you have too. But this could just be something for you to create and give to gifts to somebody in your family. Maybe somebody's who's more housebound, who can't get out to get cards. I know the older generation really loves sending cards, so that would be great to break this up and give them 5 or 10 cards. Maybe you want to show your gratitude to somebody who takes care of your pets or helps you around the house, somebody in the neighborhood that does things for you. Giving greeting cards makes a wonderful gift for the holidays or any time of year, just to show your appreciation. I can't wait to show you what I've done with them. It's so, so cool. So stay tuned and watch the following video. So what's cool about it is that it has a magnetic closure. You get a little mini cube. You get a block. You get folders, 3 folders. So it makes really a wonderful gift to give or to save for yourself to put all your cards. This is the stamp set that comes in there, and it has 2 fonts and very useful sentiments. Hello, friend. Thank you. Best wishes. Congratulations. Just because you're the best. Happy birthday. Thinking of you. And then in a very simple font, some of the same words. So those are great for you to use. All right, let me show you what I cut the cards. And this is really, really simple. These make some simple note cards. But if you cut a card in half and keep one as a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or cut one down just a smidge, you can get 2 cards out of each one. So this I wanted to show you. I'm using the small bow thin cut. Now, I know many of you already own this, so I'm adding some cardstock. Let's talk quickly about the cardstock. We're going to add 2 sheets of wisteria and shortbread, papaya, harbor, and 4 sheets of rosemary. That's all you need to do these cards. And now you can see how I also added some embossed look. That's our brand new botanical folder. So this is great. It's only $9.95, and you can add it and just do this great look on a lot of the cards. So you can see how I've just taken it, and you're going to see I've used either silver or gold glitter gems, and I'm also using silver or gold threads, and many of you already own these pieces and products. But that's another one. And here I took the Harbor cardstock to outline, and it's just beautiful. Aren't they gorgeous? What great note cards to give or to use for a gift. Now, this can also be a sympathy card if you'd like, a birthday card, a thinking of you card. Look how pretty. Really simple to do. Little strips of paper and matching small bow thin cut. You can add a gem in there or add some glitz if you want, but I'm just showing you I'm keeping it simple. And I know we haven't used this wisteria, and it's just so pretty to see it here, isn't it? Love that. So those are some really quick cards. Now, I also took each card and I've made a few different styles. And I wanted to show you, this is the card, and I cut it in half, and I'll show you the second card that matches. But did you see how I used the gold thread? I have the wreath and this piece here, which is a vine, and then the gold gems. And that is part of the flower box. You get these nice little dovetails to just stamp, and I stamped congratulations. I took the same card, the back of it, cut it down, added some strips of paper that are 1 inch and 1 1/4. And I also added the thread, and there you can see how adorable these cards are. So let's talk about the stamp set that I'm adding. If you saw the first video, I mentioned the heartfelt wreath stamp and thin cuts. You're definitely going to love using the different sayings in here and the different wreaths, as well as this sprig or spray of foliage. This is what it looks like. And that's how gorgeous the sympathy comes out. And then it does have 1, 2, 3, 4 thin cuts, which I used. And I'm just going to use those papers. So can you see how pretty? Here's another one. The same design, but now you can see I used the silver thread and I changed the wreath to green, and we're using wisteria and rosemary. Here's this card. Same look. Isn't that cool? Now, some of the different patterns. Here's another one with all the pretty florals. So we cut the card in half. This is using a white daisy. You're going to want the X254 white daisy pack. You're going to get 50. You'll definitely use them, about 30 or more of these. Here's that wreath. And I did color them in with some of our tri-blend markers, but you could also just use shimmer pens would work great. You can use the markers, or you don't have to color at all, or you can just add little glitz of sequins, anything like that. And the sympathy is on the rosemary. And you can see how I used it here. The matching card, right? The other side of this is now going just like you see as far as a horizontal card and matches. So here it's stamped in rosemary, and here I stamped the leaves in black intense. Here's another one. Here's where I took the leftovers out of some of the this wreath right here, and then I put it through the botanical folder and I saved it and I used it as some fun flowers. Isn't that a cool, fun look? So this is the wreath and the sprig, and then you have the threads. So I decided to use silver on this particular one. Here's the matching card to go with it. Here's a beautiful sympathy card. Isn't that gorgeous? And here I took those dovetails, right? This tail, and I just cut it in half and I stamped with sympathy. So you have all of this, and I'm using just 2 shimmer brushes. I chose wisteria and julep. The rosemary isn't in yet. Otherwise, I would have used it on here. Or if you don't want that, another great tri-blend marker is the gray-brown shades to color in your leaves. Just have fun with it, or try different, markers, or even pencils work great. Here's a happy birthday. Here's another beautiful card, and now you're seeing papaya and harbor being used. Isn't that gorgeous? And I stamped with on the paper. Another very simple look, thinking of you. So you can always stamp your dovetails or not and save it until you decide what you want to use it for. But these would make wonderful gifts to give to somebody. Here's another one of those cards where I took the interior of this wreath and used it here. I just put it through the embossing folder to give you this gorgeous look. I'm telling you, these are just strips of paper and the thin cuts that are being stamped with the same stamp set. Isn't that pretty? Papaya and rosemary. Aren't these cards gorgeous though when you cut them apart and add a little bit of extra stuff? I know many of you have much of this, the gems and the threads already, so you're just going to use up some of that stash. This one definitely has the wisteria and julep shimmer brushes. Julep's no longer available, but rosemary will definitely replace that. Don't you love that embossed look? It really pops up the card, and it's so easy to do. And then here it is as a vertical card. Love that. I love that I had the opportunity to make all of these cards with the same products over and over again. So aren't they gorgeous? That's using that particular stamp set, as well as this stamp that comes in the flower box, okay? So these are the 3 color inks that I use: wisteria, rosemary, and black intense. Now let's talk a little bit about something that I did add. These are the new layered flower thin cuts, and there were some cards that were different to try to add to, so I thought this would be fun to do, and I'll show you where they are. This is in the core catalog, And it gives you an idea right here, like all these gorgeous flowers that you see. And here it is on page 62. You can look at them and it's just showing you the ideas. And here's the small bow that I use. So everything that you see for thin cuts are on page 62. Okay, so let me show you what I did with these thin cuts. So here I took one card and I cut it and I got this look. Isn't that pretty? So I'm using all the leaves and some of the different flowers in here. Here's another card. The heartfelt is stamped. So now I'm using the pansies. And here's another card, thinking of you. And just taking some of the centers and playing with them, using a little bit of the silver dots. And this one, I just had a little bit of fun. I wanted to check out how I'd like the beads, just for something different. Here's another card with that very pretty leaf, and another card. So that's it. I mean, that's a lot of cards using some of our basic gems, threads, cardstock, and whatever. So, well, listen, I think you'll really enjoy doing this. These cards are just so beautiful. So if you love to make cards, or if you've been thinking about it, this flower box special is $29.95 and it's only exclusive for our VIPs. So I hope that you'll enjoy it and really think about all the opportunities to make wonderful cards for any occasion, for yourself, for friends, for family, and as gifts. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this.